Another day and another desperate story coming out of the dumpster fire known as the Chibs era of the show formerly known as Doctor Who, now known as shit. Now it seems that the show's 5 remaining fans are desperate to see it return to the style and tone of the Russell T Davies and Steven Moffat eras. Best of luck with that. There's one small problem. Davies and Moffat were both brilliant. Yeah, Moffat could be a bit hit or miss. Well, more miss near the end, but they both knew how to run the show. They both knew how to write scripts that had fans transfixed. Davies' run was much more consistent than Moffat's, but there are many people that think Moffat's Series 5 just might be the show's best. Let's look at the Chibs era. His Doctor Who scripts before taking over the showrunner position were shit, and they managed to get worse. Much worse when he didn't have Davies or Moffat to refine them. The 11 worst episodes in Who history were vomited out during the Chibs reign, and he wrote the majority of them. This focus on Series 12 being more like real Doctor Who is little more than a desperate attempt to halt the upcoming apocalypse that's going to be brought down like the wrath of hell on Chibs' dumpster fire when Series 12 rears its head out of the toilet. The one thing that Chibs did manage to do was give everyone an appreciation of every era of Doctor Who that he wasn't involved with. I'm sure we all had a good laugh at the rumors that Billie Piper might be returning. Let me clarify one thing for you, Chibs. She's not a lesbian! Now the shill media, in a desperate attempt to save this dumpster fire, probably funded by the BBC, are trying to convince us that Dumpster Fire the sequel will be just like the Doctor Who you remember. Nice try, oh you silly, silly people. Here's an article from our never biased friends at Screen Rant. Doctor Who Series 12 will be more like the Davies and Moffat eras. Let's get into this article, which I'm sure will be good for a laugh. Early signs seem to indicate that the upcoming Doctor Who Series 12 will return to more familiar ground, and perhaps even feeling more like past eras under showrunners Russell T Davies and Steven Moffat. Well, Screen Rant, there are a few fundamental ingredients missing here. A competent showrunner, competent scriptwriters, competent effects people, and a doctor that wasn't flung at us like shit recently excreted from a horse's ass. Unless you plan to focus the entire thing on Graham, you people are pretty much screwed. When previous Doctor Peter Capaldi and showrunner Steven Moffat opted to depart the BBC's iconic science fiction series almost simultaneously, a period of great change was inevitable for Doctor Who, and little did we know of the shit sandwich we would be dealt. Moffat was replaced by Chris Chibnall, also known as the day Doctor Who died, who in turn cast Jodie Whittaker, the Hateful, as the series' first actress to helm the TARDIS in the show's 50-year-plus history, a fact we were reminded about every 5 seconds. And she's done a great job of endearing herself to long-term fans. This alone was enough change for fans to cope with. They'll need therapy to cope with what Chibs and Whittaker the Hateful did, but Chibnall opted to make his mark upon Doctor Who. More like he explosive shit on it after a taco binge, and then set it on fire. And now there's no way to get rid of the stench. With a debut that stood distinctly apart from the show's past. Oh, it stood apart alright. It stood way, way apart. We would be happy if it could stand even further apart, and perhaps fall off a cliff. In addition to the new cast of characters, Chibnall's Doctor Who employed brand new filming techniques that somehow managed to make the show look completely flat visually. Jesus, Chibs, you couldn't even get that right. Adopted a different visual style to make white dudes look as evil and imposing as possible, and featured music from Segun Akinola for the first time, which was the equivalent of mashing a keyboard to see what noises came out. We miss you, Murray Gold. In terms of story, Chibnall intentionally avoided using any established villains until forced to by the BBC, and somehow dragging our Big Finish hero Nicholas Briggs into this mess, instead introducing a whole new crop of alien troublemakers, including a space racist, stand-in Trump, a single father, and a talking frog, all the while seemingly oblivious to the fact that it was the Doctor that became the villain under his run, and quite unlike the showrunners who preceded him, structured his debut season into standalone episodes. 11 standalone episodes of shit, with very little in the way of overarching plot lines, largely because he's incapable of fashioning a season-long arc unless it was a quest to stamp out the patriarchy. While some fans appreciated the fresh approach, yep, 5 or 2 diehards and a bunch of social regressives that suddenly decided they liked the show. And it could be argued that new viewers were drawn in as a result given the ratings increase, which continued to decrease as fans and non-fans alike ran away in horror because of what they were witnessing on screen. Others felt alienated by the all-new Doctor Who. Let's be clear, nobody became a true Doctor Who fan during Chibs' reign of shit. Alienated? That's a good word for it. Come the season's conclusion, the storylines were generating more controversy online than the Doctor's gender. Well, race and gender hatred kind of does that, which was swiftly rendered a non-issue thanks to Jodie Whittaker's widely praised performance. Oh, so many jokes could be made there. Here's an idea. Make your own jokes in the comments section. And that's it for today. Don't forget to subscribe and make sure you're still subscribed because YouTube is deleting subscribers, and follow me on Twitter. And as always, everyone, thank you for watching and have a great day.